Now, don't take this in the wrong way and don't misinterpret what I'm about to say. But women have to be trained. All right? Now, I don't mean trained in the same way that you would train a dog. I don't mean it like that. It's not meant to be derogatory. Hey, I could always say also that men need to be trained in a different way. I could say that you train people how to treat you, and that would still be true. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about women and how, as a man, you need to understand this important concept. Because if you don't understand that women need to be trained, then what's going to happen is two things. One, you're going to throw out a lot of good women that could be very compatible for you and could be a good relationship for you, or could be a good person for you to date. And number two, you're going to keep on having failed relationships. And you're going to think that either you're broken or women are broken or both, and it's simply not true. So, what do I mean when I say that women need to be trained? Well, let's go back and let's talk about some of the common things that happen when a guy gets into a relationship with a woman, right? So one of the first things that happens is what I call the struggle for dominance, right? I've even had guys I've coached where they've said, a woman they start dating said, I'm the alpha in this relationship. Like, she directly confronted him, right? Women are going to try and dominate you. That every woman that you get into a relationship with will try to do that. Why do they do that? It's instinctual, right? It's protective. It's not a bad thing, right? Even though it's interpreted as a bad thing, it's them trying to figure out what kind of man you are. It's biology's way of sussing out true masculinity from false masculinity, and it is throughout the world of nature. If you look at birds, if you look at different species of mammals, you're going to find that many times the female, what she'll do is she will test the male. She will try to find out if he's a fake or not. And what you'll find in many species of birds and certain mammals is that the male will pretend to be a more dominant male. He'll pretend to even sometimes be of a different species of the animal. And so the females have to figure this out. And the way that women figure this out with humans is that they test them. They try to assert control or dominance in the relationship. They try to become the authority. They try to wear the pants. They try to dominate the man. And if you as a man allow this to happen, then she's going to know that you're not fit for her. Or she may stay in the relationship and continue to abuse and mistreat you, gaining your valuable resources and really giving you nothing in return, right? Or giving as little as she possibly can in return. She's not really there for you. She's there for what you can provide. And this is where a lot of guys get confused with a lot of the information on the internet regarding these topics. I won't name the names of the basic philosophies that we all know, but that's where they come from. So the other thing to understand is that, women generally have bad behavior. All right, I've been coaching guys for a long time, and I've heard some horror stories. And women generally, they don't know how to act in a relationship. They don't know how to respect a man. They don't understand boundaries. They do all kinds of stuff that is just totally inappropriate and what they can get away with. Now, this is not a knock on women. I'm not trying to knock women at all. I'm just saying that in some ways, women are immature in this way. Guys are immature in different ways, and they do plenty of dumb things as well. But we're talking about women right now because you need to understand that you do have to train them. And so a lot of women, they will maintain friendships with guys while they're in a relationship. They will go out and dance at nightclubs with their friends. They will go on girls' trips. They will do all kinds of things that are just inappropriate. Texting guys, looking for attention on Instagram while they're dating someone. All kinds of stuff that they'll flake, right? There's so much stuff that women will do, all right? And as a man, you have to understand that this is kind of just the default behavior for most women. I'm not saying that all women are like this, but chances are if some man hasn't trained the woman already, she is going to be like this. Right now, again, this is not a video about men. I could say, believe me, on my podcast with my wife, I talk so much shit about men, and I've talked it a lot on this channel, and it's not even just to be offensive towards men or towards women. It's just because I expect men to be leaders and to grow up and to show responsibility and to take charge. All right, so I do come down on men pretty hard. It's because I love you guys, right? But today I am telling you the truth about women, right? So you can understand how to be a man in a relationship. So women do have these bad behaviors. Now, you as a man, like I said, if you've met a woman that doesn't have these bad behaviors, she's a rare one, or she's already met a man that's already trained them out of her. Okay, that just plain and simple. And again, I know it sounds really bad when I say the word train, and you can think of whatever you want. I'm a misogynist or whatever you want, but I can tell you, I treat women well. I love my wife, and I treat her exceptionally well, and women that I have been with and dated I have treated well, and they will all attest to that. So I'm not a kind of guy that is a jerk and treats women poorly. Okay, just to put that out there. But at the same time, I do understand the reality of the situation, right? And again, this comes from years of coaching guys and seeing guys that have not properly trained a woman on how to behave in a relationship with them, that they suffer the consequences of that. Okay, so, but you have to understand, and the reason why I'm making this whole point is that a lot of guys are going to throw women out because of these behaviors and say, oh, women are trash, Western women are trash. This is a common thing. And what you have to understand is, no, this is just all women in general, right? These are just the behaviors and the psychology and how a lot of women behave until they've learned otherwise. And so it's your job as a man, and it is your job as a man, to train a woman otherwise. And so don't just assume that because a woman is exhibiting these behaviors that she's to be thrown out, or because she's a feminist, or whatever those things. That's what you're going to find in the world. I'm sorry. And maybe if you go passport bro it out somewhere else, maybe you'll find a place where that's not the case. But this human nature, this female nature, is still going to exist. It might just be suppressed, but it's gonna exist until it's dealt with, and you're gonna have to deal with this at some point in your life. So you might as well stop avoiding it. Okay. So what you should be looking for in a woman is that she has a high desire for you, and that she treats you like a king. Now, also, that she is trainable, okay, which you'll discover as you are in a relationship. But you have to set the rules and the boundaries for the relationship. A woman isn't going to do that, right? Women are going to try and stretch things, get away with what they can, because they're not thinking about those things. Again, I'm not saying that all women are just going to be crazy and do all kinds of stupid stuff. I'm not saying that's the case, but I am saying that that's what you should expect, and you should be prepared for it. And that's why you as a man needs to come into a relationship. If a woman wants to have a committed relationship with you, and you have to tell her, look, hey, here's the deal. I'm the captain of this ship. Okay, if you're going to be in a relationship with me, it's totally fine, but you have to know that I'm a good captain. I'll take care of my crew, but there will only always be one captain, and it will be me. And if you don't want to ride on the ship, totally fine. You don't have to. But if you do want to, you're just going to have to trust me and respect me as the captain of the ship. And I will go down with the ship. I will take full responsibility. I'll take care of you. I will make sure that you are taken care of. I will take care of your physical, your emotional needs. I will provide you safety in a safe space, and I will be a good leader. But if you don't trust me to lead you, then we can't have a relationship. And that's it. You have to set the boundaries. You have to tell her, look, if I'm going to commit to you, if we're going to have this relationship, then you're not going to be talking to guys. You're not going to have guy friends. You're going to be talking to exes and all that stuff. I'm not going to do it either, because I have respect for myself and for you, and I wouldn't want to do those things. However, yeah, that's how it's going to be. We're not going to be doing this. I don't know where you're at. We're going to share each other's locations. We're going to have access to each other's phones, right? We're not going to do this girls' night out, guys' night out stuff. No. You want to hang out with the girlfriends and go for brunch or something like that. You want to hang out, go hiking, go to the gym, go to a yoga class, go to a dance class, totally fine, right? Go to a nightclub, go to the bar. No, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that either, because I have respect for you and myself, right? So you got to set these rules, okay? And women are going to resist this. They're not going to like this. They're going to say you're insecure. They're going to say you're controlling. You can't be fazed by that. You got to be willing to walk. You got to, when you set a boundary, what you're saying is that this is what I'm going to do under these circumstances. And you can do what you want to do, but this is my choice, is what I'm going to do. And you have to mean that. You have to be willing to walk on those things. And if you do that, you will train a woman. You will train her on how to behave, on how to be in a relationship, on how to respect a man who is masculine and respects himself. Because her alternative will be to not have you. And if that's not enough of a consequence, then you are either not enough of a man or she's not the one for you. So that's why you have to be willing to walk. And it doesn't really go the other way. To a degree it does, right? Obviously, you need to be treating a woman right. You need to be respecting her. You need to be treating her like a princess and taking care of her physical and emotional needs, and learn how to communicate with her and learn how to provide her emotional safety and to truly love her and to satisfy her. You need to learn all those things. But as far as the setting of the rules, the setting of the boundaries of the relationship, as far as leading a relationship, guiding it, of how things should go, you should be the one who is setting that. You're the one who's training the relationship, if you want to say it that way. But really, it is training a woman how to behave in the presence of a truly masculine man. Because women don't know this. Most women don't know this. It's not their fault. Okay. Again, you might have a problem with the word train. That's fine. If you listen to this whole video and you have a problem with the word train, the problem's not me, it's you, honestly, right? Because sometimes people are so damn prideful that they can't just suck it up and just get over, that, yeah, there is such a thing as being trained. There is such a thing as someone being dominant over you. There is such a thing as someone having authority over you, right? People that rebel against that are childish, okay? And yeah, if you're a woman and you rebel against that, you're childish. It's silly, right? Let's think about what is the reality of the situation. I, as a man, have authorities over me. I have people who dominate me. I have a hierarchy that I live within. When I go to work, if I have a job, which I work for myself now, but if I join a class, join a program, get mentored by someone, it doesn't matter. Even the government, even the police, the authority, I have to respect authorities myself. And I do have situations where I do not have the power, and I don't need to wield the power, and I can submit to a proper power and authority, especially one that I trust. So I know that my audience is mostly men, but just to clarify that point. And you do this out of love. You don't do this out of power or control or because you want to have an inflated ego or sense of self. You do it because you care about the relationship. Because if this woman is worth having, she's worth protecting. And the way that you protect a woman is that you create safety and you create structures and bounds that she might not create for herself. That's what a father does. That's what a father figure, that's what a patriarch, a head of a household does as the man, right? The same with children, right? Again, I can make the comparison of saying that sometimes the way that you interact with a woman is similar to the way that you interact with a child, in the sense that you have to create safety and you have to create boundaries, right? And that is a respectable thing to do. It doesn't make a woman lesser. It doesn't mean that you treat her lesser. It doesn't mean that, in fact, you value her higher, and that is why you lift her up and you take the responsibility and you take the blame for things. Is because you are lifting her up higher. You are making her blameless, right? Because you're taking responsibility. So remember, you got to train them. You absolutely have to. And once you do, then you're not going to have as many problems. But every time that I see a man that is having relationship problems with a woman, it's one of two things. It's one, he hasn't trained her properly. Okay, and two, he hasn't loved her properly. He doesn't know how to treat her to create emotional safety for her. Because a woman is not going to be trained by a man she does not trust, who does not provide emotional safety for her. If she feels like you care about her, that you care about her feelings, you validate her emotions, that you create a safety for her emotionally and physically and materially, then she will listen to what you have to say. She will be molded by you. She's not always going to just agree with it, but she will respond. You have to do it in the right way.